Okay, so I got to talk to a guy that was basically an eagle expert. He studied eagles for many years. I've got him on cassette, actually, and so I've taken notes off his cassette where he tells basically the eagle story. And some of you may have heard this, but I had never heard it before. If you Google it, there's other people that'll back it up. But let's talk a little bit about the American bald eagle, because I'm going to talk about today the eagle mindset and soaring through challenges. So eagle experts say that the American bald eagle live up to 60 to 70 years. Everyone else online says 25. Eagles fly at high altitudes, not with low-flying birds like sparrows or other small birds. Eagles have strong vision with the ability to focus on objects up to 3 miles away. An eagle sights his prey. He will not move or lose his focus from the prey until he successfully captures it. Soaring requires condition. That's what we're going to talk about today. Soaring through challenges. Soaring requires condition. An eagle can soar at 138 miles per hour upward and 180 downward. They can break every bone in your hand if they grasp it. They have special lenses on their eyes when other prey attack them, because the eagle's number one bird. They get attacked by other birds. When they get attacked by other birds, what they can do is fly right into the sun. And they've got these special lenses that come down, like sunglasses that come down, and they fly right into the sun. The other birds have to turn away. They're blinded. They also allow the storm winds to lift them above the storm. Other birds find shelter. If an eagle waited for perfect conditions, it would never soar. So the Bible talks a lot about the eagle, and one of the things it says is it flies above the storm, because all this dark clouds, rain, and everything, that you can go above that storm. And the faster you move, the higher you soar. Think about that. They are the longest living bird, like I said. The thing is, what most people don't know is the American bald eagle goes through not every bird, but most of them go through a moping period right around the age of 40. And basically it's a mild depression. Their talons swell up, their beak calcifies, their feathers get real thick so they can't even fly. They start plucking around on the ground like chickens and turkeys, and they get really down. Now, but here's the good news. Here's what happens. And it's about a 150-day process. So what is that? About 5 months. Other eagles who have been through the moping period and came out of it, because not every bird comes out, not every eagle comes out of it. A lot of them die in the moping period. But the ones that have come out of it, they fly over that eagle who's down there plucking worms, and they squawk and motivate that eagle to get back up here. Soar like an eagle. Quit plucking like a chicken. And they drop fresh meat so the eagle will eat and get strong. And at this point, they either eat and live, or they don't eat and they end up dying. And then if they do eat, they have like a rebirth for 30 years. They live another 30 years. They can live up to another 30 years. It's a change process that must take place for the eagles that go through a moping period. You see, an eagle mentality is committed to total discipline. It takes discipline to be the best at what you do. It takes discipline to be number one. Don't get caught in the downdraft of doubt. So live life like you won't be disappointed. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to the next level, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be talking about the eagle mindset, soaring through challenges. And we all have challenges, some more than others, some bigger than others, but we all have different challenges. And if you own a business, you know you have challenges almost every single day times 10, okay? So here are some reasons why those who are willing to accept challenges tend to be more driven and achieve greater success than everyone else. And number one is resilience development. You see, challenges build resilience by requiring us to persist in the face of difficulty, leading to emotional strength and adaptability. I have a sign in my office a friend made of mine years ago when I was going through a bad time. The comeback's always greater than the setback. That is part of resilience development. If you know that, you'll have more resilience. The comeback's always greater than the setback. We were going through a tough time in 2020, and since then we are 88% up. That's huge. For us, that's huge. And number two, growth mindset. Accepting challenges cultivates a growth mindset, allowing us to see failures as opportunities. We don't let failures ruin us. You see, it's not a failure until you quit. You fail, it's just a bump in the road, and you fix it and move on, and you try not to do it again. So you learn from them rather than having them set you back, okay? And number three, increased motivation. Challenges create clear, ambitious goals, fostering motivation and a sense of purpose, which fuels sustained effort and commitment. So challenges, I was on Facebook today, and someone who does specialized dancing said when she was younger, she heard one of her coaches say that she was really good, but other than being so flexible, she sucked. And she said that really affected her. Well, I had to text her and say, hey, so I took a 50% pay cut to get into heating and air. And within 8 months, he fired me and said, you'll never make it as a mechanic. He was probably right. I'm more of a business type person, entrepreneur type, creator type, innovative type, driven, motivated than I was just being a mechanic working on furnaces. Now, I did that well enough to get me started for like the first 5 years. I figured things out and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not the best mechanic by any means, nor do I want to be today. So it seems like it worked its way out pretty good. So that kind of stuff increases motivation for me. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my personality. I don't know about you guys, but someone tells me I can't do it, or I suck, or I'm not mechanically inclined. I mean, I went to work for another company, worked there for about a year, quit, started McAfee, and we surpassed the first company who fired me by 10 times the first probably 7 years. So, and they had been in business forever. So, being mechanically inclined does not make you a successful heating and air conditioning business owner. That's for sure. All right. So then you got confidence and self-belief. Successfully facing a challenge enhances self-confidence, empowering us to tackle future obstacles with greater courage. When you have challenges and you face them, then you can face more later. If you don't know how to face them, you'll never be able to face another challenge. See, that prepares you to face future challenges. All right, number 5 is proactive attitude. Those who accept challenges naturally adopt a proactive rather than reactive approach to life, which puts us ahead of the curve. It's much better to have a proactive attitude than a reactive attitude. Proactive means you're a go-getter. You're soaring. You're soaring through the challenges. You're making things happen. You're not waiting around to see what happens. You're making things happen. And number 6, competitive edge. Who doesn't want that? When we accept challenges, we constantly seek improvement and move forward, which provides us with a competitive advantage over the comfortable, over the status quo. Because we're not comfortable and we're not the status quo. We continue to want to have a competitive edge. And we do that by continuing to soar through the challenges, moving forward, facing them head on, dealing with them, fixing them, and moving on. And number 7, lastly, better decision making. You see, facing challenges sharpens judgment and decision-making skills, teaching us how to assess risk effectively and achieve more. So when you face challenges, it makes you work harder, it makes you research harder, and it makes you better at making decisions. You can't make decisions if everything goes good all the time. You're not that good. I'm not that good. So we have to have some challenges in there to grow, improve, and all those types of things. So better decision making. And know this, a challenge is a combination of discernment and courage. Think about that. When you accept challenges, you become unstoppable. Not because you're without fear, but because your desire for success outweighs fear. Think about that. That's encouraging, man. That's motivating. Our willingness to accept challenges determines our altitude in life. You see, the eagle flies above the storm. Where do you fly? Are you always in the storm? Are things always going wrong? Or are you above the storm? Sure, above the storm, you might still see some challenges, and you got to face them head on, but very few. Fewer than the norm. Fewer than below the storm, that's for sure, or fewer in the storm. Those who remain grounded never learn the thrill of soaring. Those eagles that came down on the ground and they just kept plucking for worms and they died. There was no thrill of soaring. You see, the good news is the eagles that took back to the air, what they did was they actually went to a rock and they knocked off their beak, and the beak grew back without calcium on it. And they went to the rock and they sharpened their talons and they plucked out the majority of their feathers, and new feathers grew back, and they took to the air again and they soared again and they became king of the air again. The eagle, the American bald eagle. What a bird. Okay. So basically what we had was reasons why those who are willing to accept challenges tend to be more driven and successful. Number 1, you have resilience development. Number 2, growth mindset. Number 3, increased motivation. Number 4, confidence and self-belief. Number 5, proactive attitude. Number 6, competitive edge. And number 7, better decision making. You put all those together, you're soaring, man. You're soaring high. Keep doing it. So before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Keep listening. I'll do my best to keep challenging you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The Greg McAfee Show, no spaces, no underscores. Thanks for listening. As always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life, because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you next week.